Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today is Motherless Child.
I'm like a motherless child in a peculiar tumult, rejected by close relatives who say I'm in a cult, cause I say Yeshua's my savior and Yahweh's the creator. They notice my mistakes, forsaking the change in my behavior. Another day in the life of a slave, yet being led by the Spirit shall keep us guided through this maze. And there we sat by the rivers of Babylon, and there we wept when we remembered our home and those that carried us away, of some nerve required of us a song. How shall we sing Yahweh's song in a land not our own? It makes me wanna holler the way they do my life. I roar like a lion, but still feel like a motherless child, a long way from Zion. Sometimes I feel like I'm a motherless child. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm a motherless child. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm a motherless child. It's a long way from home. Oh, long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. It's a long way from home. Oh, long way from home. Sometimes I feel like getting down down on my knees to pray. You know, sometimes I get down on my knees and pray. You know, sometimes I get down on my knees and pray. It's a long way from home. Oh, long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm a motherless child. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm a motherless child. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm a motherless child. It's a long way from home. Oh, long way from home.
The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain. One of the things that Yahshua puts forth is that we must overcome. If we don't ever get into any adversarial situation, or if we avoid all of those things, how indeed can we overcome? We have an enemy who is very, very worthy of attention. I mean, you have to consider as we become aged and whatnot and experienced, and then you encounter younger people, you know, they're new at being, 25. You was 25 years ago. So some of the same things, they think it's new. And I remember saying the same thing when my mom was telling me, there ain't nothing new under the sun. The devil just found a different way to do it. It's the same thing. And why change anything if it keeps working? So he just found a new way of doing that same thing. And we have to be spiritually exercised so that we are ready for some of those things. And things are very much so kicking up right now. I mean, we have been talking about this one world government type system. Understand something. At this point, all of the countries are pushing the same agenda. We're talking about people who are supposed to be against each other. They're all pushing the exact same agenda at the exact same time. Nobody thinks that's odd. When sworn enemies implement the same thing at the same time, we are entering in a totally different time. So for us to keep going on business as usual is absolutely ignorant. Never before have we seen situations where people might not be able to keep their job without filing the right paperwork, and then they still got to decide whether or not they're going to accept your paperwork. You may fight the situation and get allowed to do something later on, but what happened in the meantime? If they just send you home for a couple months, how many of us can withstand our house being at home for a couple months? And it's these things that we are just not considering. It's just like the times of Noah. They were marrying, giving their sons and daughters into marriage, having parties, doing everything until the rain started. Then everybody want to get serious. It's too late then. It's too late to start figuring out what you're going to do, start to begin to figure out who you're going to serve when the adversary get here. And if you think, we can easily look at a 25-year-old and say, hey, you don't even know what you're looking at yet. Well, consider something. Lucifer about what? About 1 million years old? What you think you can learn that he don't already know? I don't care if you studied every day in your life. Ain't nothing that we think we know gonna add up to the knowledge of how to deceive that he has. So you're gonna have something else. So if all you counting on is your knowledge and what you know, you're gonna have some problems. Because that's how he set up the first deceit, with the quest for knowledge. Knowledge ain't gonna save you. You're gonna have to have more than that. And you ain't never gonna know. If we can look at a 25-year-old being 50 and say, you still wet behind the ear. Think about what Lucifer was saying about us. You ain't got no ears yet. You ain't got formed yet. You ain't even 100. on him. So he's running game that we may not see till years later. And he gives that power to his evil followers as well. So that's something we're going to have to consider. As it is written, with the merciful, you will show yourself merciful. With the upright, you will show yourself upright. And with the pure, you will show yourself pure. And with the forward, you will show yourself unsavory. We have watched many movies where a gangster kills many men with no mercy. But when it is his time to die, he begs for mercy. The very thing he would not show to any of his victims. The very ones that operate with no mercy to those that don't agree with them are always the first to ask for mercy when their head is on the chopping block. Sometimes mercy is offered quietly, but because it is a quiet situation, no one knows that mercy has been offered in that situation. This creates the perfect opportunity for the self-will to intervene, believing that they know better how to handle that situation. Let's begin today's sermon in Exodus chapter 15. See, we're thinking that this adversary, the devil, is going to come and attack our house with a big wrecking ball. So he just come in with the big wrecking ball and boom, he knocked the house down. No. The adversary, the devil's so smooth, you don't even hear him chipping at your bricks. And then he slide one brick out. Then he wait another month. He chipping at another brick. Here go another brick. Now, he's strategically pulling out those bricks so that when he does hit it with that wrecking ball, the whole thing coming down. But he starts pulling away at certain parts of the foundation first. That's the pre-part of war. See, we just get mad and start swinging. That's how we think war is done. No, you don't understand war. Because before war is declared, there is the logistical part of putting all your people in place. All your people in place. And they getting their money right. They getting everything right. So while we smiling and partying, all these people have been getting ready for war. Getting their money right, getting their people right, getting everybody trained. We still partying. We still having a good time. We still talking the same old mess we was talking 5-10 years ago. Meanwhile, these folks getting ready for war. I actually feel bad for a little bit for the dumb rednecks who've been spending all their time watching us. They don't even see that the Chinese about to destroy your nation. And you spend all your time watching us. Everywhere I go, you want to follow me in the car. 4 or 5 of us gather together, you hit your lights. But 27 Orientals can get together and you don't even stop them. That's who's going to kill you. You done let them have all your technology. They have all your DNA. Why would you let another country get your DNA information? Why would you do that? But see, that's how the adversary works. He have you focusing on the wrong thing. So you can't see what's right in front of you. You're looking over here. That is not where your judgment gonna come from. So they've spent all their time, money, everything into holding us down. Meanwhile, let a whole nother country own everything that they have. And now they got technology that has just now scared America. Now they scared. Because they done came out with some stuff. And now, you know, you don't hear that big bang, God bless America, no place else. When this thing came out about this hypersonic glider that they got, all of a sudden, oh my goodness, it look like we not on top no more. Oh, now you want to look. But see, there were people saying that all along. But when you can take something and say, you know, that's just the way you see it. You don't get prepared when this thing happens. Because you keep thinking about the arrogant part of, I've been able to succeed thus far. See, that's how wins set you up for a fall. Man, I'm 10-0. What you telling me I need to fix? I'm going to fix something. I'm undefeated. Yeah, but you ain't played him yet. He 1,000,000 years old. You ain't fought him yet. Yeah, you tore up everybody you face, but you ain't fought him yet. And his sole purpose is to kill you. That is all that he been thinking about for 1,000,000 years, is killing you. Go ahead, brother.
Exodus chapter 15 and verse 1. Then sang Moshe and the children of Israel this song unto Yahweh, and spake, saying, I will sing unto Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider has he thrown into the sea. Yahweh is my strength and song, and he's become my salvation. He is my El, and I'll prepare him an habitation, my father's El, and I'll exalt him. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name.
Yahweh is a man of war. How many times people tell you, God is love? They even sing it when they say it. God is love. He is so much love. Oh my God. When I just say God, I feel warm inside. He is a man of war. See, everybody want to deal with peace. Peace is obtained through war. So you can walk around picking daisies and flowers while everybody else is packing bullets. You got a problem. Go ahead.
Pharaoh's chariots and his host has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Your right hand, O Yahweh, is become glorious in power. Your right hand, O Yahweh, has dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellency, you have overthrown them that rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of your nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright as in heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I'll pursue, I'll overtake, I'll divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I'll draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. You did blow with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto you, O Yahweh, among the gods?
Every man has his own God. They all have what it is they worship. And I tell you right off the rip, I don't push anybody, but when they get to pushing, their thought process on me, I tell them, bottom line, my God, tell your God up. I'm telling you, your God not real. And I don't say it that nice. I said it nice because I'm behind the altar right now. Go ahead.
Who is like you? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them.
Half my family was sitting there like, oh, please don't let him say what I think he about to say. That means they done heard it before. Go ahead.
You in your mercy have led forth the people which you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength onto your holy habitation.
He has guided them. But understand, even along this journey, there are isms and schisms saying, you know what? Let us raise up another leader to lead us back. Now, he says, beware, I have sent an angel to guide you in the way that you're supposed to go. Do not provoke him, for he will not pardon your transgression. We don't even understand that that's what we're doing. The Spirit is leading one way, but here comes the self-will of Israel. You know what? This is taking too long. Let's turn around and go back. Go ahead.
The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestina. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of your arm they shall be as still as a stone, till your people pass over, O Yahweh, till the people pass over which you have purchased. You shall bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahweh, which you have made for you to dwell in the sanctuary, O Adonai, which your hands have established.
And see, what we don't understand is that we were purchased. See, when you talk about a situation of, he says, I am married unto you, Israel. Understand, a bride price had to be paid for a wife. See, you just can't show up to somebody's door saying, you know what, I love your daughter. That is nice. Where your chickens and goats? You got some goats? You got some sheep? What you got? That's why when you look at this book, you find the boy showing up with his daddy. Why? The boy ain't got no money. Why you think the boy show up with his daddy? His daddy got the money. His daddy come. All right. What is the bride price? If you will allow this to happen, I will pay the bride price. Why you think that happened? Then the daddy got to say, all right, boy, do you have a way to provide for my daughter? So yeah, your daddy got some money to come here and bring a bride price. But what you gonna do about taking care of my daughter? Okay, you do this, you do that. All right, I know your folks. Okay, then the deal is made. Yahweh said, I purchased you. See, when I took you away from all of those things, when I took care of all your debts, I purchased you. You belong to me. Go ahead.
Yahweh shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahweh brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. And Miriam the prophetess...
Now listen, Miriam the prophetess. Understand that there are situations here. Consider how much power Miriam has, how much following power she has at this point. Understand, she got two brothers. One of them is like a god, and the other one is the high priest. So, ain't nobody saying nothing to Miriam. Understand? And she has the power of persuasion going on her side. Understand? She said, look, I'm the one that put that boy in that water to make sure he was going to be all right. And you see how she was able to convince Aaron at any time. Go ahead.
And Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels.
All the women went out after her. So when you got this kind of power, you got to be careful what it is that comes out of your mouth. Go ahead.
And with dances. And Miriam answered them, sing you to Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider has he thrown into the sea. So Moshe brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it is called Marah. And the people murmured against Moshe, saying, what shall we drink?
You see how fast Israel go from singing to complaining? 1 minute we singing, oh, Yahweh is glorious. Woo, come on, sisters, get your tambourine. Woo. Soon as they get thirsty,
Why you bring us out here? We thirsty. We can't even drink this whole bitter water.
just that quick. Go ahead.
And he cried unto Yahweh, and Yahweh showed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet.
Right. He didn't tell him to put your staff in the water. He said that stuff you're looking for is right there. Just take that and put it in the water. Go ahead.
There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them.
There he proved them. See, Yahweh is not about making a man fall, but he is also about proving whether or not man's gonna walk when things don't completely go his way. See, when we agree to do a job, we agree to do that job at all costs. See, ain't no company gonna hire you and you say, you know what, I accept the position. You say it pay $14 an hour, I'll take it. Now I'm only going to come in on Sunday days. It'd have to be between 70 and 85. 86 is too hot. I'm not coming in if it's 69. I'm not coming in if it's 86. They're not hiring you. So what kind of servant are we to Yahweh? I'm going to serve you as long as everything works out the way I want it to work out. As long as you give me pleasant jobs, I will work for you. But as soon as you ask me to do something that I don't like, understand this, Yahweh, I'm out. No, you out now. You ain't never in. Go ahead.
And said, if you will diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh your El, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I'll put none of these diseases upon you, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh that heals you.
I am Yahweh that heals you. Do you understand that I am the one that heals you? I will send. So then we find out about some medicine, about something that'll help us. Right. Yahweh send you that. He didn't heal them with a staff. He healed them with a tree. Where do you think medicine come from? Where do you think it come from? So we're sitting there waiting for some supernatural something. We're waiting. Oh, something gonna come out the clouds. Oh, something gonna come. Oh, the earth is gonna open up, and then somebody gonna come out and they're gonna touch me and they're gonna heal me. And he said, "Go get them leaves and eat it, fool." What are you looking for? I'm looking for something supernatural. How about just natural? Go over there, pick up that grass and chew it. Go ahead, brother.
Isn't that the same situation we saw with the brother with the baptism when he was told to go dip himself, pardon me, on far par and whatever better rivers than this?
Yeah, we got to have the better water than this. You see this? The water ain't even clear blue. Like that Aruba water. Look at this here. Where you got this water, man? There's way better rivers than this. Right. Go ahead.
And they came to Eliam, where were 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters.
Now understand, when Yahweh is directing you, you have to be able to see the prophecy ahead of that. And in Exodus 15 and verse 27, it says, "And they came to Elim, where there were 12 wells of water and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters." Read the note that's in that.
Genesis 46 and 27. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70.
70 is 70. The 70 souls that came out, and when you go back to Exodus 15 and 27, it says there were 12 wells of water. That's the 12 tribes of Israel, and then the 70 palm trees are the families that came in. He already dealing with prophecy, and we talking about, I want to read the prophet Isaiah. Prophecy in Genesis. You done read past prophecy, don't even know what you're reading. Let's go to Genesis chapter 31. And because we don't understand that, this gives another open door for self-will to come in. Understand, this is how Lucifer did the attack in the garden. He had to give an opportunity for self-will to come in. At the end of the day, he doesn't make you do anything. He persuades you that it is in your best interest to do certain things. But at the end of the day, you can't go and say, the devil made me do it. Lucifer, he done already got the Yahweh before you got there. Did you see what Esaac did? I didn't make him do nothing. Now, I did scare him, a little bit. But I didn't make him do nothing. He did that on his own. He ain't make you do nothing. But he sure convinced you that it's in your best interest. Genesis chapter 31, and let's start that at verse 1.
And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Yaakov hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he gotten all this glory. And Yaakov beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before.
Now understand, he was supposed to be going to his mother's folks so he can get a wife, and he was going to get, have a better chance at righteousness than dealing with these heathens over here. He go to his mama's folk, and his mama folk is straight hoeing him out. He working, he done got tricked by his own family. He's supposed to be marrying one sister. He waits and tricks him and sends another daughter in there. Now he got to work 7 more years for that daughter. Then he even hold him after he get the 2 daughters. But if you don't know what you're watching, people read that and think they're just reading, this is why, the problem with multiple marriage. They don't understand this prophecy. Because see, you see them 70 palm trees? They had to come forth. You see them 12 wells of water? They had to come forth. From that, what made them 12 wells of water was that man and the 4 women that he married. He didn't have no choice in the matter. Yahweh decided. So when you start hearing other doctrines, you have to deal with that. When you start hearing things like, the first wife got to agree before that. Where you read that at? Where you read that at? So Yahweh create man and woman, but then he got to ask the woman before he do something for his servant? And see, what you have to see is sometimes Lucifer got every door in your house. Every person in your house is a door of which Lucifer can come through. The more people you got in that house, the more doors you got in that house. If there's 1 wife, 2 kids, it's 3 doors and you. Now, he got a steel door up front. That's you. But it's 2 straw doors in the back. That's your wife and kid. Why in the hell would he kick down the metal door when there's a straw door in the back and he just walked through the screen? All you heard when he came in was, ah! That's it. If he come through your door, he got to keep. Because he got to methodically keep going to kick your door down. But why is he going to work that hard when there's a screen door in the back? And 9 times out of 10, you ain't even locked it. Because you like that screen door. Well, that's what the adversary to do. He go around the back, find that screen door that you ain't protected, and walk right in. And you watch. And you let people know, hey, look, this is going to cause you an issue. So it come in through one of the kids, affect the mama, because mama bear going to want to take care of the kid. So now her game is off because she's watching whatever is going on with the kid. Now mama got the ear of the daddy. Now she convinces the daddy. Then now the doctrine of what originally came in one place is now coming out of the daddy's mouth. It done work all the way around that house. But it didn't come through the daddy. That's who he want. He don't want the child. He don't want the mama. He want the head of the house. Lucifer gains nothing by going to Yahweh and said, you see what I got Eve to do? You see what I got? Man, get out of here. I didn't give her no commandments. I gave him commandments. The goal was to get him weak. And you tell people and they say, well, that's just the way you see it. And then you sit there and watch it come through one of the kids, hit the wife, hit the son, hit the father. Then the father is off his game. Not because of something that he did, because of something that came through one of them screen doors. But Yahweh still gonna hold you responsible. That's how being the head of the house goes. You didn't know he was going to come through that door? How you didn't know? Everybody knew except you. Go ahead, bro.
In a situation where you're saying the man should be the steel door, should be.
You're right. He should be the steel door. In some situations, he is the screen. Now imagine Lucifer surprised. He come up to the front door and be like, oh my God. And just walk right in. Where in the hell is the reinforced steel door that's supposed to be here?
Oh, it's in the back.
What?
Yeah, it's got a head wrap on it.
Why in the hell is she the steel door? Something wrong with the foundation of your house. Go ahead, bro.
Genesis chapter 31 and verse 3. And Yahweh said unto Jacob, return unto the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I'll be with you. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the el of my father has been with me. And you know that with all my power I've served your father, and your father has deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But Elohim suffered him not to hurt me.
Has changed my wages 10 times. Now this is folks. See, we have to learn that there's various levels of family. See, some family, you know, is really family. You can call on them at any time. They're going to be there. There's other family that they just see a need and they go right to it. And there's other family, you got to catch them at the right time. No, man, you inconveniencing me right now. Man, wait a minute. Now, when you was in need, did I come through for you? You got to remind them of all those things before they be inconvenienced for you. You learn that there's levels of family. And normally you learn that when you need something. Because as long as you the provider, oh, everybody love you. Oh, they love you because every time they need something, you are there for them. But then Yahweh will do you a justice. You know what? I'm going to let your check not come in this week. How is that justice? What? I don't understand the mannerisms of this God. Why would you not let my check come in? Because I want to show you something. Now, start calling all them people that you done gave money to. Go ahead. I'll wait right here. You find out that not getting your check that week was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because now you get to see what you got around you. See, as long as you keep getting your money and everything keep working out, you think that what you got beside you is your ace spoon coon, your soda cracker, your chew in the back of your nook if he don't get no blacker. That's what you think. Until he lets some trouble come your way, then you get to see what you got on your left side. It ain't what you thought it was. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 8. If he said thus, the speckle shall be your wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring straight shall be your hire, then bear all the cattle ring straight. Thus Elohim has taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me.
He has taken away the cattle of your father. Because your father has been evil dealing with me. And he took that stuff and gave it to me. Every time we said this is going to be his stuff and this is going to be my stuff, everything came out to be mine. Why? Because there's a scorekeeper. He keeps dealing underhandedly. That's why I said, look, you ain't got to. When you got them slick snakes in the grass, just keep letting the grass grow. Don't worry about it. He done been there 20 years. 20 years. He's supposed to be just going over there for a minute, letting the brother calm down. But see, Yahweh is doing something. Yahweh is establishing his whole house away from all the people who might try to influence it. See, you don't understand the genius and the brilliance in that. By the time he returns back to that land, he has family, he has wives, he has sons, he has money, he has substance. Now, if you allow your servant to grow in front of other people, they might say, you know what, he getting too much. Let's go ahead and kill him now. They didn't have that opportunity. Yahweh sent him over there. Let him grow, get stronger, get all of those things. Then he sent him back. See, we don't even understand the genius in that. So this whole thing, all this turmoil, this was absolutely designed by Yahweh. No, you ain't leaving yet. But then when it's time to leave, hey, I got you. But all that works on Yahweh's time, not on yours. But if you one of them, I can't be inconvenienced people, because, I got a strict schedule that I got to, operate by. Man, your schedule don't mean jack to Yahweh. That's why we say, Yah's will, I'll see you tomorrow. It is my intention to see you tomorrow. But if my Elohim said, suck, you going to Kansas today, guess what? Y'all ain't gonna see me. Because I'm going to do what my God said do. And I don't give a damn how y'all feel about it. Whose servant are you? When the boss talk, you move. Go on these jobs and tell them people what you ain't gonna do. See how long you gonna be there. See how long you gonna be there. Go and tell them that, they dress code don't mean nothing. They got a uniform, but you say, you know what? I don't like that uniform. I'm gonna wear me some jeans and a t-shirt, white tee. All right. Let's see how long you're going to be there. But then when it comes down to righteousness, we have no problem talking about what we don't like, what we don't feel, what we don't believe. But then the hypocrisy in that, we'll go and do everything them folks say on their job. Obey their dress code, obey everything they bring forth. Then we tell a brother, hey, your loins got to be covered. But he done did 10 push-ups. He want to wear that extra medium shirt. Bro, you can't wear that extra medium in here. You need to get your son back his shirt. Now, all of a sudden, we the problem. Now, they got a problem with us. You ain't say that to them people when you went on their job, though. When they asked you to put on this uniform, when they told you what the dress code was, you didn't have no problem with them. But you're going to bring the hypocrisy to our door. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leapt upon the cattle were ring-straight, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of Elohim spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob, and I said, here am I.
Right. But what about all these 20 years I've been getting beat up? You talking now? Yeah, I talk when I want to talk, not when you want me to talk. Remember who the boss is here. You don't tell the boss, well, where you been? I had been called you. Yeah, I heard you. You heard me, but that was 19 years ago. Yeah, I know I had some other stuff to do. Like make sure you was established before I brought you out of here. See, it's not in your best interest for you to march back in there empty-handed. Go ahead.
And he said, lift up now your eyes, and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straight, speckled, and grizzled. For I've seen all that Laban does unto you.
I have seen all that. So the whole time Laban is doing this, Yahweh know it. This is what I try to tell people. You do know Yahweh see all this, right? So you can think, feel, and believe whatever you want. Do understand, he operates on his time. Go ahead.
I am the Elohim of Bethel, where you anointed the pillar, and where you vowed a vow unto me. Now arise, get you out from this land, and return unto the land of your kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and has quite devoured also our money.
Right. See, so he playing both ends against the middle. Go ahead.
For all the riches which Elohim has taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever Elohim has said unto you, do.
Right. So, you understand than the power that the wives have. He's talking to them about this situation. They are now on one accord. But do understand something. He ain't got to ask them about what he need to do. What if they said, you know what, I don't want to leave my daddy? Well, you can stay here with your daddy. But it's time for us to go. I wasn't supposed to be here 20 years. I can put my time in. Go ahead.
And Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Paddan Aram, for to go to Esaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to share his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's.
Right, and this is just out of spite. She not gonna do anything with these gods. She just know that they meant something to him, and you done took my stuff, so I'm gonna take some stuff that belong to you. She don't want the gods. She just won't see him suffer. Go ahead.
And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not, that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And Elohim came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that you speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
Now, pause and think about that. So, Elohim pauses all this time. This man has been getting done wrong 20 years. Now, Yahweh not only comes and speaks to Jacob, but then comes and speaks to the man who running after Jacob. Then listen to what he told him. You don't speak good nor bad to my servant. Well, what can I say? I can't say nothing bad or something good. Right. You don't speak no good because he my servant. Everything that he got, I gave it to him. You don't speak good to him because I don't want him to think you gave him nothing. You don't speak good nor bad to my servant. That just limited this conversation. Go ahead.
Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What have you done, that you have stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore did you flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent you away with mirth, and with songs, and with tabret, and with harp?
Right, you were gonna throw me a party. You done changed my wages 10 times. You done tricked me, sent them one daughter into the tent while I done served you for a different daughter. You have been absolutely nothing but a deception toward me, but you were gonna throw me a party. I look like Boo Boo the Fool to you. You were gonna throw me a party. I'm supposed to believe that. Go ahead.
And have not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters. You have now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the el of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take you heed that you speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
I was gonna hurt you. It's in my power to do you hurt. But your God came to me. Go ahead.
And now, though you would needs be gone, because you sore longeth after your father's house, yet wherefore have you stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure you would take by force your daughters from me.
Now he answering the first question. He ain't got to the one about the gods yet. Go ahead.
With whomsoever you find your gods,
Now he dealing with the gods.
let him not live.
Right, because his wife done stole the gods, but she ain't told her husband she stole them gods. See, only a fool believe he know everything his wife say and do. You show me that man and I'm going to show you a real small pea-sized brain inside his skull. Go ahead.
Before our brethren discern you what is yours with me, and take it to you. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them.
So he's going to end up saying some things that he should not have said, and maybe he would not have said had he known that she did it. Go ahead.
And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my master, that I cannot rise up before you, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images.
Right, because he wasn't going to ask her to get up because he knew she unclean. See, she crafty. She crafty. She knew exactly where he wasn't going to look. She knew exactly what to say to make sure. Now, she has deceived everybody there, even her husband. Nobody knows that she has stolen these gods. And because he believes, hey, his wife said it, it must be true. Now, he finna offer out some trouble. Go ahead.
And Jacob was angry and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin that you have so hotly pursued after me? Whereas you have searched all my stuff, what have you found of all your household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, that they may judge between us both.
That you may judge between us both. He talking big here. Why? Because he believed at this point that neither one of his wives have done anything sneaky or underhanded. But she was straight faced with this deception. And he believing it. Boy, she got him. And now he done accidentally cursed his wife. Whoever you find, let them not live. Ain't nobody here done that. Surely, if my wives would have told me if they would have stole some gods. Go ahead.
This 20 years have I been with you. Your ewes and your she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of your flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto you. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand did you require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was, in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 for your cattle, and 6 years for your cattle, and you have changed my wages 10 times.
Now, there's a little bit more he could have said. 14 years for them $2. See, that was another deception line that he could have added in there. And then you snuck the other daughter in after I had done worked 7 years. You gave me the wrong one. And you can understand why he didn't want no party. Remember, the party was how he got the wrong wife in the first place. Yeah. They said, no, drink up. They kept getting him drink. Right. That's how he woke up and was like, who are you? Do you think I want another one of those? No, man, no more parties for me. I know what happened the last time you threw me a party. I woke up with the wrong sister. Had he not been drinking, he would have known before he went to sleep, this ain't the right sister. No, you miss me with your parties. I know what your parties entail. Somehow I'm going to get deceived in your party. So now I don't want no party. It's time for it to go. Go ahead.
Except the Elohim of my father, the El of Abraham, and the Pharaoh of Esaac had been with me, surely you have sent me away now empty. Elohim has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked you yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that you seeth is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come you, let us make a covenant, I and you, and let it be for a witness between me and you. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap. and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Yegar Sehadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and you this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galeed. And Mizpah, for he said, Yahweh, watch between me and you when we are absent one from another. If you shall afflict my daughters, or if you shall take otherwise beside my daughters.
Now this is where you get into things. Understand, this is a part of the covenant. If you shall afflict my daughters, or if you shall take other wives beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, Elohim is witness between me and you. This is a part of the covenant. So when you start hearing things like the wife has to agree, ain't there one of these wives in this agreement here? So then you know now another doctrine has come out. And that's something that I have to deal with, because when I got out of the hospital, I heard that come from behind the altar, but I heard it much before that, coming out of a sister's gathering before that. So that has to be publicly dealt with, because that ain't right. Now, I tried to lightly deal with things and try to give people an opportunity to clear some things up. But if they don't clear up, I got to clear it up, because that's my job. That is not scripturally based, and we can't let that fly. You can't put something out and then privately clean that up. No, you got to clean it up in the same place you put it out at. Now you have time. Yahweh has a grace period. You don't get forever to clean that up. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 51. And Laban said to Jacob, behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast between me and you. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I'll not pass over this heap to you, and that you shall not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. And the El of Abraham and the El of Nahor, the El of their father, judge between us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Esaac.
All right, let's go to Numbers chapter 12. See, you have to understand how the adversary, the devil, works. When you look at, consider that weapon that China has. It's a hypersonic glider. All right. So basically what they do is they shoot this thing off toward the left. Now, who they trying to kill is on the right. It goes through outside the Earth's atmosphere, goes around undetected by radar. This how Lucifer works. See, Lucifer swing left to hit somebody on the right. So then the thing goes all the way around the Earth's atmosphere, then comes back in and hits the target from a unknown direction. So you know where your enemy is. He over there. And you watching it, right? And then you get hit from the side. Pow! Who is over there? He's over there. What? Yeah. So you imagine if you standing here and that person starts shooting this way, you say, I'm good. And then the bullet go down there past that tree, come back around and come get you. Lucifer operate the same way. Understand, he never wanted the woman. That was never his objective. When he came into the garden, it was never, he used the woman's self-will to get to the man. He never wanted her. Just by getting her, there's still an intercessor left in their family. He can intercede for his wife, but not when he agrees with her. There is no intercessor now. Why? Because you agree with her. Now she's your God. That's a problem. Go ahead, bro.
Numbers chapter 12 and verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moshe because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian.
And this Israel. We'll be mad about one thing, but we're gonna let that show some other kind of way. See? So at the end of the day, you find that people have a problem with certain parts of Yahweh's law. So they need to attack that in a different way. That's why you start hearing the various doctrines, because people see what has been instituted in one house and then they get scared that it might come to their house. But instead of entreating Elohim about it, they're going to start another doctrine. Wrong thing to do. That was not the way to go about that. Now you're going to have to deal with Yahweh. That was not the way to do that. Go ahead.
For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, has Yahweh indeed spoken only by Moshe?
Now he is coming to question because they don't like who he married. Now he ain't really chosen. So now this is where another doctrine. Understand how much following Miriam had. She picked up her little tambourine and everybody else went with her. Okay? So check the power of that she's wielding here. She has this enormous amount of power. She has this power of persuasion, and now she's talking against her brother. Why? Because she don't like his marital decision. Now Elohim can't be with him. Elohim can't be with him. Everything he's saying, look, we all blessed. Go ahead.
You know, brother, in that whole situation, had Yahweh not dealt with this the way he dealt with it, with all the women that she's got behind her, you understand what they'll be putting Moshe's wife through? And then bringing that, causing him unnecessary stress with all what he's dealing with Israel already?
Exactly. Because once she says that she don't like the Ethiopian woman that he's married, then all the other women start coming at her. Now, and you know, hey, women know how to be nice then. You won't even see them when they throw that rock and hit your wife.
What happened? She got hit? Really?
At first you think she tripping.
She tripping. And well, you keep thinking everybody after you. Ain't nobody paying no attention to you. Stop coming to me with this. Now I'm working. Yahweh sent me over here to go do a job here, and you keep talking about the sisters messing with you.
Come to figure out, now they all messing with me because your sister ran off at the mouth. Go ahead.
Has he not spoken also by us?
Oh, he spoke by us. Now remember, us took off running. Has he not also spoken by us? When did he speak by you? See, now you're jumping out of your pay grade. All because your feelings done got involved, and now here comes the self-will. When did he speak by you? When did you make any covenants? That's the problem about working as long as it agrees with you. The jobs that Moshe was given, he didn't agree with them. Go back into Egypt. You do know I killed somebody there, right? Yeah, I know. Go back in there. I am what they call a fugitive. Yeah, I know. Go back. No, man, I'm not eloquent. I can't talk. I can't. That's all right. That's all right. I give you a brother. He's eloquent. He can speak. Okay. It's amazing when you got people that believe that they're servants, but they only serving things that they like. There's certain things that Yahweh lead me to do. There's times I done been sitting in my bathtub crying like a baby because I know what he lead me to do and I don't want to do it. Go ahead, brother.
And Yahweh heard it. Now the man Moshe was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moshe and unto Aaron and unto Miriam. Come out, you three, onto the tabernacle of the congregation.
Now, you see that power of persuasion? She got Aaron just like this. Why? That little brother. She can persuade him at any cost. Come on, follow me, boy. You forgot you're supposed to be Yahweh's high priest. You got to stop letting everything influence you. You can't be influenced. This is why you tell people, do understand, those other affiliations that you allow in your house are going to affect you sooner or later. But when you can't tell people something, that they think that's just how you see it, so you pause and you sit down and wait. And when it starts affecting you and you start getting off your game and further, then You look up. How did everybody see it except you? It's because you're too close to the situation and you don't want to see it. That's why you need family around you. To say, hey, this gonna cause you some problems. I had 2 down partners coming up in school. My mom said, look, I know you think they just like you, but they not. So no, these my partners. One of them will finna go to prison for me. She was like, no, they not nothing like you. You think y'all the same, but you not. What was that? Experience in watching men that I hadn't had yet. Lo and behold, a couple years later, the proof was in the pudding. I no longer speak to any of these dudes. For 5-6 years straight, we were inseparable. There's no way you could tell me that we were not on one accord, that we were not the same. The right situation and circumstance came, and they showed me who they were. And it broke my heart. Sometimes all you can do is tell one of these youngsters, this is how it's gonna go down, and then go sit down. It might take 10 years for that to happen. Go sit down. Say what you gotta say, and then go sit down. And when the collateral damage come, you might help them pick up the pieces. You might not, and I'm gonna let you pick them up for yourself, because I need you to think about that. This would have been a lot less damaging had you done this 10 years ago. But now it has interwoven itself all into your house. Now the collateral damage don't just concern you. Now the collateral damage includes your mama, includes your daddy, includes your cousin, includes your sister. Why? Because you let the deception get all up in your house by not stopping it. Now it's got problems everywhere. Go ahead.
And they 3 came out. Verse 5. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you.
Right, because you claim that Yahweh speaking through all y'all. You claim that he speaks through all of us. When have you ever been inconvenienced for this word, Miriam? So what, you walk by the water? You took the kid back to the mama so she can breastfeed? Whoop-de-doo. What work you did? Go ahead.
I, Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moshe is not so, who is faithful in all mine house.
And what did we read before? Yahweh came to me in a dream yesterday. Yahweh came to Jacob in a dream. Then he even went to his adversary in a dream. He said, oh, no, that ain't how I'm dealing with this dude right here. No, he gonna be awake. Everybody else gonna be asleep. Now I'm gonna talk to him, he gonna be awake. Matter of fact, I might talk to him in front of y'all so y'all see me talking to him. Go ahead.
With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore, then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe?
Right. When you introduce another doctrine, you are speaking against the servant of the Most High. How is it you were not afraid to do that? How is it that you thought that was okay? Well, you know, that's just my brother. We all brothers and sisters. Do we consider that? The difference is your brother made a covenant. You haven't. Your brother got a job. You don't. Go ahead.
You know, it's interesting you say, and brother made a covenant, and a lot of people might want to look and say, well, what was that covenant? Oh, covenant's a seal in blood. He killed a man, didn't he?
And what was he going to do? You look at something and you said, why didn't Yahweh deal with him as a murderer? Because Yahweh like, oh, I'm going to kill all them anyway. You was just getting the party started. Because I'm killing all them. All them. So you just go ahead and warm it up. you know what I'm saying, kill one of them, and then you go out here, and what you gonna do? I'm going to establish you somewhere else. Yahweh works the same way. I'm gonna establish you somewhere else. Then I'm gonna bring you back as an established individual at this point. Right. Y'all know if we stay somewhere 4 minutes, we ain't trying to leave. You stay somewhere 40 years, you done got comfortable. And now he's saying, all right, come on. Imagine Yahweh tell Abraham, get up, get out of your father's house and go to a place which I shall tell you of. At what point do the wife have to agree? What that say? Baby, Yahweh has told, baby, let me talk to you for a second. Yahweh has said that he would send me to a place. Okay, now he hadn't told me the place, but what I'm saying is we got to leave. How you feel about that? You think he give a damn how she feel about that? If you don't do your job, he might get rid of her. It's your job to protect her. When it was time to do that circumcision, brother didn't care what his wife thought about that. When it comes down to holiness, you better stand and do what you need to do. Otherwise, you're the one putting your family in danger. Because you won't make the move that need to be made. Don't nobody care what color the house is. Don't nobody care what color the drapes is. If she want to paint the whole damn house pink, paint the house pink. But when it come down to the things about righteousness, oh, you better get that damn Christmas tree out of here. You want to paint the house pink and green? Go right ahead. I don't care. I just live here. I would have been fine living here with no... Let me tell you something about men. When I first got my house, I could have sat on lawn furniture for the next 20 years. When you get up, my butt would look like a waffle. It didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to me. Then here come women into the scenario. Oh my goodness, see, we can put some drapes here. And then let me tell you something. Now, when you put the sofa here, oh my God, see that? It's going to blend in with this wall. And then when we get this Persian rug, we're going to put it right here, right? And then that's going to pull out. See, it's going to pull out the colors. We don't give a damn. I don't care. But I tell you what we're going to be on the Sabbath day. You want to paint this mug pink? I get the family to come help you. Come on. Get the brush and the roller. Let's paint this because your mama want this pink. But we're going to be over here on the Sabbath. Things concerning righteousness, I ain't going to lose those. Yahweh not going to come in my house. You know something? I was going to grant you salvation until I looked at these drapes. And I said to myself, there's no righteous man that would have put blue and red in the same drape pattern. You think he care? What part of the commandments, thou shalt not let thy wife hangeth thy drapes? That ain't in here. He not going to judge me according to that. But he is going to judge me according to what I let go on in that house. My elder said, I let some things go on too long in here, and Yahweh is handing me my hat. That came from his mouth. What was happening? My elder would teach openly certain things to certain brothers who was back there in his office. But his wife was teaching against multiple marriage in her class. That's not scripturally based. He didn't publicly deal with it. According to his words, Yahweh came and handed him his hat. You know what Esaac hat gonna be? Read, priest.
Verse 9. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and, behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moshe, Alas, my master, I beseech you, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
Right, he's saying we have sinned, but you notice he ain't leprous, right? So Yahweh knew who the ringleader was. He a man. Why he come and deal with the woman? He know who the ringleader is. See, you got some men that'll beat on their chest and say how much they are in control, but don't understand what the power of persuasion does. Yeah, you made the decision, but who gave you the decision? Man that ate from the tree, it didn't come from him. It didn't come directly from the adversary. It went from the adversary to the woman. The woman brought it to him. When you don't respect that power for what it has in it, then you turn around and become victim to the power because you don't respect it. You don't understand how powerful it is. Now you got all the muscles, but the feminine power controlling you. Why? Because it controls your decision-making process. That's why you can hear a wife say something, and 2-3 months later, you hear then the brother done said it. Why? Because she has persuaded him that that's what the scripture said. But you can't find that no place in the scripture. That's a problem. But you try to tell people, you let this thing come in this way. It's going to affect her, then she going to affect you, and then now you're going to be in trouble with Yahweh. It'd be best to stop that. All that. Get out. Rather than sit there and let your house fall. Go ahead.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb. And Moshe cried unto Yahweh, saying, Heal her now, O Elohim, I beseech you. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, If her father had but spit in her face.
Okay, wait a minute. In verse 11. And Aaron said unto Moshe, Alas, my master. Aaron said unto Moshe, My master, I beseech you, lay not the sin upon us when we have done foolishly, when we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead of whom the flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb. He spoke to Moshe. Then, and Moshe cried unto Yahweh. He couldn't talk to Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
He can't talk to Yahweh now. He got to talk to Moshe. And Moshe got to talk to Yahweh. Why? Because you decided to follow your sister. Now you talk to him and let him talk to me. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, If her father had but spit in her face.
Who he answering?
Moshe.
Right. But Aaron, the high priest, he knew not to even open his mouth toward Yahweh. Moshe, let her not be. Wait a minute. Right. The problem is we don't have that. We turn around, transgress, and then go right up. Yahweh. We ain't got to worry about him. Yahweh. You think he listening to you? You really think he listening to you? Go ahead.
So he didn't believe that we was all holy after she.
But hey, Yahweh, we all holy, and Yahweh spoke to all of us. Yeah. Once Yahweh started talking, he went directly to Moshe. Right. See, the proof is in the pudding. Go ahead.
Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that, let her be received in again.
So at this point, Yahweh ain't trying to kill her, but he need to make a point publicly. Watch your mouth. You can't put yourself on equal footing with a servant of Elohim. Have you lost your mind? He ain't putting her out to kill her. But all them people she done talked to need to see her out there. The book says, them that sin rebuke before all, so that they learn not to blaspheme. And you try to deal with something quietly, but what happens is it keeps multiplying. And then when people don't see that you have offered grace in that situation, when you do come off the top rope, they think you being unfair. But they don't know. You don't let that slide 3-4 times. If you keep letting it go, other people are being turned by that. Then Yahweh coming to my house. Hell, I ain't say it. What you at my door for? Imagine Moshe come out you 3. I wasn't there. I ain't even nobody ain't said nothing. No, Yahweh, that was them.
That was them. I wasn't in the conversation. They was. I was around. I was thinking about something, and I was thinking about how I could serve you and do all kind of graciousness. I did not have anything to do with this conversation. Come out, you three. But that was them talking. No, Yahweh get everybody involved. Everybody involved. If you just the one that let the bad spirit, if the bad spirit came in the house through you and your affiliation, he calling you too. Come here. Come here. Because you let this in that got her, and then it got her, and then it got him, and then it got them. But it came in through you. Y'all would get everybody involved. He came and got the serpent that was used. He got everybody. And then everybody went their own way. It was this woman you gave me. Said, don't worry about it. I'm getting her too. I'm getting everybody involved. Go ahead.
And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days. And the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again.
Right. Everybody got to wait on her. Yahweh is making a point. Watch your mouth. No, we all ain't holy. We all ain't on the same level. Your life wasn't inconvenienced the same way his was. Stop thinking y'all on equal footing. You ain't went through none of those. You ain't took none of those losses. Go ahead.
And during this time, believe me, everybody's asking, why are we not moving?
Uh-huh.
All who not involved or didn't know, excuse me, why are we not moving?
Hey, and let me tell you something. Somebody who led all the sisters in song and dance, they recognize that she's not there. So, it ain't like it's like this metal enclosure. They can walk right over there and see, hey, man, why her skin look like that? Because she opened her mouth when she should have closed it. She allowed self-will to direct her lips. That's why she's sitting out there. He wasn't trying to kill her. But he needed to make that point. How many people has she told that to? See, this is the problem when you deal with something quietly, trying to give, an opportunity for change. The problem is all the various people that heard that same thing, they are not notified that it ain't correct. So somebody got to come out and set that right and let it be known that was not correct. Yahweh said, all right, I'm that huckleberry. I'm going to take care of that. I'll be your huckleberry. In 7 days, everybody going to know. I know what? I ain't going to do that. When my elder said, Yahweh handed me my hat because of this. I ain't telling you I ain't going to make no mistakes. But I'm not going to make that one. Go ahead.
And afterward, the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran.
All right. Yahweh is poetic when it comes to punishment. When righteous judgment is interrupted, Yahweh ends up giving the interrupter the very action that they input themselves into. Take Gehazi, who jumped into the prophet Elisha's business believing that he wasn't handling the situation correctly. In turn, Yahweh allowed Elisha to put the leprosy from that situation that he jumped in to cleave unto him. This is the danger of believing that the Spirit is dealing with us all equally. The self-will of Miriam caused her to rise up and become a false witness against Yahweh's servant. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 19. See, that's a real dangerous action. So you can look in here and say, well, Moses murdered a man. And then you go out and try to kill somebody. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Deuteronomy chapter 19, and let's read verses 15 through 21. So you have to learn that certain things are for certain people's life. You can't just come and fight against that or try to deal with it as if it happened in your life. deal with your life and let Yahweh deal with them in their life. But when we let that self-will come in, now we got a problem of what happened in somebody else's life. But it really ain't about their life. It's about us having fear that it will happen in our house. Go ahead.
Verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any lawlessness, or for any sin, in any sin that he sins. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established.
And let me tell you how genius Yahweh is. We always think that it has to be 3 people that saw the same thing. See, Jake is slick. We'll make sure that we don't do it but around one person. But what Yahweh do, he'll let that situation stand. Boom, there's 1 witness in that one. Then he wait 6 months later, they do the same thing. Boom, it's 2 witnesses in that one. Then 6 months after that, they do it again. Boom, there's another witness. Now you got 4 witnesses. See, remember, to the forward, he will show himself unsavory. You don't know that he's gathering up witnesses. He's letting you keep going so he can keep gathering up witnesses. And since dealing with one situation quietly didn't work, now you have made it so your situation has to be dealt with loudly because of how you dealt with other situations. So it has to be brought out front. That's why I say Yahweh is poetic in how he deals with things. Go ahead.
You know, when you got to even think about when the feds is building a case against someone, they don't just go at you the first time. They sit there and you let it go and they let it go and then they show a pattern. This is a pattern of operation.
Exactly. That way you say, you know what, I had slipped up and that bag of crack was in there and then I just sold it. You know what I'm saying? I slipped and tripped and then I said, oh my goodness, there's 47 sacks of crack cocaine in my pocket. I'm sorry, that was my charge. My bad. I had a flashback. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 16. If a false...
But see, the power of the First Offender Act, I ain't do that no more. So they couldn't bring it up no more. There you go. Okay. That's what you do in showing mercy to somebody. You bring them back there in the back office. It's a quiet situation. As long as you don't do it no more, ain't nobody got to know about it. But then when you do it 2-3 more times, I ain't got no choice. Read, bro.
If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Yahweh, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and, behold, if the witness be a false witness, and has testified falsely against his brother, then shall you do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother.
Right. So the punishment for a lie is whatever you intended to happen to the other individual. So if you were trying to rob that individual of something, if that something was to last a lifetime, guess what your punishment or your righteous judgment is? That's what you try to inflict upon them. That is what must happen to you. Go ahead.
So shall you put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear.
There you go. How they gonna hear and fear if you don't say nothing? If you keep it in the back office and don't bring it out to the forefront, how the rest of the people gonna hear and fear? But you try to allow mercy in some situations and giving an opportunity to change. But when you see it keep coming out, they ain't gonna change. Not on their own. We all want to believe we're gonna change on our own. I wanted to believe I was gonna get out of the street on my own. You know when I got out of the street? When I heard these words. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided to you. Do you understand the words that have came out of my mouth? That's when I say, you know what, this ain't for me right here. It was about like a week later after having that horrible, I can't say the real word that we call it. I'm just going to say crap on the shank. And what they call it, that little grit stuff with stuff floating in it. I'm like, what the hell is this? We supposed to eat this? I said, no, this not for me. This not for me here. I don't think I'm about that criminal life because that is not sustenance. And that I don't know what that is.
No. I was trading all my food. Look here, man. Give me an orange juice for this crap on the shank. Can we? Yeah, man. You won't eat it. I eat it. Then one of the OGs had to tell me, "Hey, bro, look here, man. You can't keep giving away your food. You gotta make them trade your food." I said, "What? If you give your food away in here, you're gonna have some problems." That's when I learned to trade it. Because at first I was like, "Man, I ain't eating that. Here." He like, come here, young blood. Come here. Let me talk to you. Don't give your food away in here no more. You're gonna have some problems. That's why I said, "Oh, no. This ain't for me. This ain't for me." Because no human person should consume what that is. No human person should consume whatever the hell this is right here. My mama got microwave delights that's better than this right here. This. Nah. Go ahead, man.
Now imagine if you were one who would not have taken the advice of the OG.
Right. See? Imagine if I told OG, "That's just the way you see it." Bye. Oh my goodness. These career criminals in here. This is what they do. Yeah, come here, man. Hey, the OG just said, let me help you out, young blood. Don't do that. You're gonna have some serious problems. Oh, and the OG didn't stop there. It was two troublemakers. So they run around and they running off at the mouth. And you know, hey, it's a couple fights going on. So I'm like, hey, it is what it is. OG said, not them two. I said, what? He said, no, not them two. Just let that one slide. I said, why? They done got caught on multiple accounts using false names. Them dudes going down for life. Lifers have nothing to lose. Leave them alone. How you gonna give a dude more than life? You got life plus 2. So when you die, you come back, we're gonna give you 2 more years. What? Leave them alone. Stay away from them, young blood. Right. Now what if I wanted to be arrogant? I ain't gonna listen to the OG. OG been in and out of jail. Hey, look here, man, I'm just passing through. My folks gonna come through and get me out of here in a second. But you ain't got them kind of connections, young blood. Watch yourself. Go ahead.
And shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you.
Mm-hmm.
And your eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
You see how Yahweh operate? This is righteous judgment. I'm going to give you what you put out. Did you finish that?
Hand for hand, foot for foot.
Hand for hand, foot for foot. Now let's go to Judges chapter 1. Judges chapter 1, let's read verses 1 through 7.
Now after the death of Yahshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked Yahweh, saying, who shall go up for us against the Canaanites first, to fight against them? And Yahweh said, Yehudah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand. And Yehudah said unto Simeon his brother, come up with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites. And I likewise will go with you into your lot. So Simeon went with him. And Yehudah went up, and Yahweh delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand. And they slew them, and they slew of them in Bezek 10,000 men. And they found Adonai-Bezek in Bezek, and they fought against him, and they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adonai-Bezek fled, and they pursued after him, and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and his great toes.
Why? Because it's Yahweh's judgment. Understand something. Yahweh says, I'm sending you in here to do, you're going to take this land, but it ain't just about that. These people have done some things in that land, and I need for you to execute righteous judgment. So Yahweh leads what the judgment is. Keep reading.
And Adonai-Bezek said,
now listen, this is an unrighteous man, but listen to what came out of his mouth. Go ahead.
70 kings, having their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table. As I have done, so Elohim has requited me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died.
Right. Now how is it that the wicked can understand righteous judgment and we act like we got a problem?
He said, I know why this happened to me. Man, I did the same thing. 70 men. You understand how long he had to be doing that then? That's 70 kings. 70 lands that he has conquered and cut off their great toes and their great thumbs, their fingers, because without a thumb, you can't make no fist. Without your big toe, you ain't got no balance. There ain't nobody ever got to worry about fighting you no more. You ain't gonna fight nobody without a thumb. You can't slap no grown man. This ain't no fight. What we about to play? Patty cake? We're not finna patty cake. Ain't nothing you gonna do without these. So once they cut off the thumbs and the toes, ain't no more battling you're ever going to do. It is over. You stand up, boom, you hitting the ground. He knew why it happened to him. He knew what he did. How is it we catch selective amnesia? Like we don't know what we did. But the wicked man can understand what he did? Let's go to Mark chapter 14. So Yahweh pauses, and in that pause, it makes people believe that Yahweh is okay with the action, that Yahweh has agreed with them. That pause is the opportunity to repent. He's not pausing saying that he agrees with you. He's pausing, giving you an opportunity to fix it. Mark 14, and let's start that at verse 53.
And they led Yahshua away to the high priest, and with him were assembled all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes. And Cephas followed him afar off, even into the palace of the high priest, and he sat with the servants and warmed himself at the fire. And the chief priests and all the council sought for witness against Yahshua to put him to death, and found none. For many bare false witness against him, but their witness agreed not together. And there arose certain and bare false witness against him, saying,
So they coming out with all these, different things at this point. Go ahead.
We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I'll build another made without hands. But neither so did their witness agree together. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Yahshua, saying, Answer you nothing? What is it which these witness against you? But he held his peace and answered nothing. Again the high priest asked him and said unto him, Are you the anointed one, the son of the blessed? And Yahshua said, I am. And you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven.
So now they're looking for witnesses, but once he says this, now they go on another level. Go ahead.
Then the high priest rent his clothes and said, What need we any further witnesses?
We don't need no more witnesses. Go ahead.
You have heard the blasphemy. What think you? And they all condemned him to be guilty of death.
Now, once they condemn him, watch how fast other people join in. Go ahead.
And some began to spit on him.
Once he has been condemned, now look how fast. See, this is the power of talk. When you let too much talk go on, look at how the other people have been influenced. We're talking about a man that they know have brought people back from the dead. We're talking about a person that they know that he has turned water into wine. We're talking about some people that people know he has brought demons out of people. People who couldn't talk, now sitting up in their right mind. Folks that used to jump in the fire and they had to go get them out. But once he was condemned publicly, now they spit on him. They spit on him. Go ahead.
And some began to spit on him and to cover his face and to buffet him and to say unto him, Prophesy. And the servants did strike him with the palms of their hands.
Right. So then they slapped him and then said, tell us who hit you. Let's go to John chapter 2. Now remember what they said. This person said he was going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Now the word said they are false witnesses. But then you have to consider, that sounds a lot like what he said. Let's go to John chapter 2 and we're going to read verses 13 through 25.
And the Yehudis' Passover was at hand, and Yahshua went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables.
Right. But we think that Yahshua is just walking around all about love and all of these things. No, he has a job to do. Keep reading.
And said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, and make not my Father's house an house of merchandise. And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of your house has eaten me up.
That's why he did that. He had a zeal for Yahweh's house. He had a zeal for things being done decent and in order. And if he got to turn over the table to make them get out, then that's what he got to do. The zeal of Yahweh's house is eating him up. So when it comes down to work that needs to be done, you see who has the zeal for it. There are some that'll come if we corner them. And there's others that's going to show up. What we got to do? What happened? Zeal for his house. When you have zeal for his house, there's certain things that you don't just stand by and let go on. Go ahead.
Then answered the Yehudis and said unto him, what sign show you unto us, seeing that you doeth these things? Yahshua answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Yehudis,
well, wait a minute. Now that's what the false witness said, but they said that he's a false witness. See, it's a fine line between being a true witness and a false witness. The devil is really in the details. Keep going.
46 years was this temple in building, and will you rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body.
Stop. That's why they were false witnesses. They did not understand the context of how he was speaking, and he knew they didn't. See, that is how he leaves a door open for self-will. He purposely doesn't give everything right away because he leaves it open. As it is written, I'm going to prove you to see if you're going to serve me or no. So he leaves that door open to see what your self-will gonna do. Go ahead.
When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this unto them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Yahshua had said. Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover, in the feast day, many believed in his name, when they saw the miracles which he did. But Yahshua did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man.
Right. Let's go to chapter 6 and start that at verse 22. Just so y'all know, the clock was mysteriously fixed because apparently, my classes have gotten a little long-winded, So then, the sisters done got together. I ain't gonna say the sisters. I'm just gonna say a sister made sure that there was batteries put in that clock.
Do you know what time it is? I just want you to see it when you look up, so that what time it really is. I'm just saying.
So that clock ain't been working in months, but it somehow got new batteries. Go ahead, bro.
Yohanan chapter 6 and verse 22. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that one whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Yahshua went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias near unto the place where they did eat bread, after that the Adonai had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Yahshua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum seeking for Yahshua.
Right. But what are they seeking him for? Go ahead.
And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when cameth you hither? Yahshua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, you seek me not because you saw the miracles, but because you did eat of the loaves and were filled.
Right. They had their own motives for coming to follow Yahshua. Stop thinking that everybody come to church for the same reason. You have some that just came for business opportunities. You look, man, we have people that ain't been here. I can count the number of times that they done been here, and yet somebody was in a business deal with these people. They ain't been there for 3 times. How the hell you enter into a business relationship with somebody who ain't been here for 3 times? Then you look, and they got 4 more business opportunities right in this same little thing. Then here comes the pyramid scheme. And depending on where you sit in the congregation, you got your money back when things hit the fan. But that brother sitting over there didn't get his money back. Now, is it okay that you got your money back? What about the other brother that didn't get his money back? But a snake know where to slither at. Nobody came to me and said something about the pyramid scheme. I got to find that out through somebody else. Now, why they ain't come to me? You think I ain't got enough money to invest in the pyramid scheme? Then there was another reason they didn't come to me then, ain't it? Right. Read, brother.
Verse 27. Labor not for the meat which perishes, but for that meat which endures unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him has Elohim the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do, that we might work the works of Elohim? Yahshua answered and said unto them,
Listen, because I've had people ask me this. So you have people that wish they were present here, but they live in other places. Listen, what shall we do that we might work the works of Elohim? Read.
Yahshua answered and said unto them, This is the work of Elohim, that you believe on him whom he has sent.
That you believe on him who he has sent. He sent Yahshua, but then Yahshua ordained people after that. If you don't believe that I am one of those people, please leave. But you damn sure won't be starting no other doctrine up in here. Do understand that. Go ahead.
They said therefore unto him, What sign show you then, that we may see and believe you? What doth you work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Yahshua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moshe gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Elohim is he which comes down from heaven and gives life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Adonai, evermore give us this bread. And Yahshua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that comes to me shall never hunger.
Now, he already knows that there's some things that's there that ain't right. He said, y'all came just so y'all can naturally eat. So y'all can make. See, there's some people that come for their salvation, and other people come so they can find out what business opportunities they can get into. So as soon as they backside hit the seat, hey brother, what you do? Oh, you in trucking? Okay. Hey sister, what you do? He said, y'all ain't came for the same reason. And time gonna answer that question. Go ahead.
And he that believes on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you, that you also have seen me, and believe not. All that the Father gives me shall come to me, and him that comes to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which has sent me, that of all which he has given me I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day.
Now, it was well known to our people that the way resurrection worked, raised up at the last day. So where we get that heaven thing from? See, that's not backed up by scripture. So when you hear another doctrine, you got to ask yourself, who told you that? Because if you didn't get it out of this book, you are entertaining a spirit. See, my elder used to say, people leave, spirits don't. So that spirit looks around to see who is like the other house that I once had, because I can't do no more work. I can't do no more damage with them. They're not here. So I got to find another entity that I can go into to do this harm. And before you know it, you see one person, they sound just like another person. You see them, they operate just like another individual. They're doing all those things. What happened? That same spirit that was in the other individual is now in this individual. Talking, doing the same thing. If one was calling around doing all of that, all of a sudden, when this person get that spirit, they operate the same way. Go ahead.
And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which sees the Son and believes on him may have everlasting life, and I'll raise him up at the last day.
And he says it again. What happened when the situation with Lazarus? Yahshua said, your brother shall rise again. She said, I know my brother shall rise again at the resurrection at the last day. She never thought her brother was in heaven. I know my brother dead. If you had been here, he wouldn't have died. So I wasn't here for a reason, so that you might believe. Now, show me where your brother at, so I can make him get up. So Yahshua purposely waited, so he would die. See, we think we understand Yahweh and Yahshua. The only thing you understand is what he let us understand. Understand that. Go ahead.
The Yehudis then murmured at him, because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, is not this Yahshua the son of Yosef, whose father and mother we know?
How he came down from heaven? He went to Jerusalem Middle School. What they don't know is the power of that being born again. See? Go ahead.
How is it then that he says, I came down from heaven?
And this is where you also see people who have not been born again think they have the same rights and privileges as people who have. Go ahead.
Yahshua therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him, and I'll raise him up at the last day.
You see how many times he keeps saying the last day? And it's the New Testament. So why we hear all them Sunday people keep talking about, he's in heaven looking down on us right now. God be praised. Yes, he's up there. Really? Because if you don't believe in nothing but the New Testament, everything I keep reading saying he's going to raise him up at the last day. Where you get to heaven from? That's another doctrine. You treat all other doctrines the same way. Doesn't matter who that doctrine comes from. That doctrine comes from somebody you love. You got to deal with it. I don't care if it's my son, my daughter, somebody I made a covenant to. Everything that's married to me, no. You start another doctrine in here, they're going to see a head wrap and a dress fly out that door. So if I ain't going to let mine start no doctrine in here, damn well no, I ain't going to let yours start no doctrine in here either. Understand that. Go ahead, bro.
It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of Elohim. Every man therefore that has heard and has learned of the Father comes on to me. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of Elohim, he has seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believes on me has everlasting life. I am that bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness, and are dead. This is the bread which comes down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof, and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Yehudis therefore strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat?
Man, we got dietary laws. We can't even eat shrimp, but you want us to eat your flesh? This man done lost his mind. Yahshua and Yahweh always leave an open door for self-will. Go ahead.
Then Yahshua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you.
Right. Now he's taunting them. But remember, he knows that there are people in the midst that does not believe. Go ahead.
Whoso eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I'll raise him up at the last day.
Man, Sunday Christians must just skip this whole chapter. Because he continually keeps saying this last day thing. Every time he says the last day, that heaven doctrine gets beat up. This is why they won't read but 1 or 2 scriptures, and then it's time to sing and dance. It's time for the offering plate to come around again. Keep reading. He keeps saying last day. Try to gainsay all of these.
But see, when he said last day, what he meant was, you know, that the last day in heaven, and then what had happened was, and then that's why because.
Don't make no sense, man. He keeps talking about this resurrection. Then you get in Revelation, what does it say? He's going to raise up all these people, which is consistent with what's written here. But we find ourselves at funerals trying, and I tell people, be careful, because folks will invite a Hebrew to a funeral and then turn around and say, will you speak at this funeral? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Look, I don't know if I can do this. Because see, when I talk, it has a tendency to match the word of my Elohim, even if I don't have the book. I went to one funeral and the man banned anybody from reading the scripture because he saw me coming.
He was like, nobody can read any scripture. I'm the only one that can read scripture. Nobody can read scripture.
I was like, I guess he don't know who I am. I don't need a book to tear you up. I said, yeah, he got tore up. But I didn't read scripture. I didn't read scripture. I did what he asked. I did not read scripture. But I tore him up. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 55. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eats my flesh and drinks my blood dwells in me, and I in him.
Now you talking about living in him. He talking about eating him and drinking him. This is getting worse and worse and worse. What does he keep doing? Open up more doors for self-will. Finding something you don't like and allowing you to then open your mouth. Go ahead.
It's a whole new twist on you are what you eat.
You ain't lying. You talking about live in me. Wait a minute, brother. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
As the living Father has sent me, and I live by the Father, so he that eats me, even he shall live by me. This is that bread which came down from heaven, not as your fathers did eat manna and are dead. He that eats of this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum.
He said this in the synagogue. See, people don't understand the power of what comes out of their mouth in holy convocation. This is why all the questions we take are in Bible study. See, when you invite the angel to come in and sup with us and us with him, you got to be careful how you deal with some things. And we don't know when the angel leaves. What if he hang around? Go ahead.
Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, this is an hard saying. Who can hear it?
Right. He knew that there was some that didn't believe. So he kept pushing until they got offended. Now
they said, this is a hard saying. He lost a lot of disciples this day. But sometimes when you lose, you gain it. Go ahead.
When Yahshua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, does this offend you?
What, you saying eat your flesh and drink your blood and live inside you? Yes, it does.
Go ahead.
What and if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickens, the flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit.
The words that I speak unto you are spirit. If you can't receive this spirit, it's because you have another spirit in you. Go ahead.
And they are life. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahshua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him.
He knew exactly who his betrayers were. And just like Yehudis, what? Do you betray the Son of Man with a kiss? Oh yeah. We'll shalom, hug you, squeeze you, kiss you. All the time planning your death. And this is Israel. This ain't no foreign nation. So don't go say, well, you know how them Gentiles do. No, I know how them Gentiles do. Go ahead.
And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Father. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him.
You see that? They done. I don't like the way the words are coming out of his mouth. I don't like this. We out. Go ahead.
Then said Yahshua unto the 12, will you also go away? Then Simeon Peter answered him, Adonai, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life.
Right. How you know that? Because you got a different spirit in you than them that left. Understand, in certain places you'll say that he had 70 disciples. He said, you know what, that's too many. And these people are not real believers. So he puts forth a harsh saying, does not explain the harsh saying, so that their self-will can jump right in. But the people who are truly there and led by the Spirit, they don't understand it either. But they said, look, I know you chosen of Elohim, so I'm going to sit here until my understanding comes. But the self-will can't wait. They got to go ahead and speak their piece about what they think they understand. He's purposely doing this. He ain't making no mistakes. He know what he's looking at. He know who his betrayers are. He know who they are that do not believe. Please don't be fooled by people saying, well, I've been in the word this amount of time. Most of the serious transgressions against this word that I've ever seen have come from people who've been in the word the longest. Go ahead, bro.
And we believe and are sure that you are that Messiah, the Son of the living El. Yahshua answered them, have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil?
And he still didn't remove that devil. Why? Devil got a job to do. Go ahead.
He spake of Yehudis Iscariot, the son of Simeon, for he it was that should betray him, being one of the 12.
All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 26. He knew exactly what he was doing. So he purposely leaves this open. See, this is, a type of situation where you don't have all the information, but you see majority of the people have left. From 70 back down to 12. And you know how we do.
Well, look, his whole congregation is about to fall. Look at that. If he went from 70 to 12, look, you might as well go ahead and leave now, because I'm trying to tell you, it's falling. I'm telling you. Look at all them people that left. All of us agree that he wrong.
Okay. Matthew chapter 26, let's read verses 20 through 29.
Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12, And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
Just so we get this right off the rip, one of y'all is a devil. All right, go ahead.
And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Adonai, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dips his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
It would have been hard for me to dip my hand in anything at that point. You know, they give you that hot bread and they be like, oh, here go the olive oil and they got the stuff in there. Go ahead and dip it. No, I'm not going to dip mine. Sock, the bread is better when you get that. No, I'm not going to dip mine. I'm going to eat dry bread today.
He didn't say he who drinks. Okay, well, I'll just eat the dry bread and keep drinking.
I ain't dipping jack. Go ahead.
Then Yehudas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? And he said unto him, You have said. And as they were eating, Yahshua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to his disciples and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body.
So he purposely held off, eat my flesh and drink my blood. He let them believe the wrong thing because the wrong thing was in their heart. He let them get driven away by the thoughts of their own heart. Now that he's back down to the 12, now he's giving instruction about what he said before. Go ahead.
And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink you all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament.
This is my blood of the New Testament. Now think about all the people that walked away because they heard something that they didn't like. So sometimes you need to say something that people don't like. See, my family be getting on me.
Look, don't get down there and turn into alley pad again. Don't get back there and get all street and everything.
No, it's some folk I need to offend so they can leave. Because they waiting on something. They waiting to pick anything. He did this on purpose. You got offended for a reason. Go ahead.
Which is shed for the many for the remissions of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
In my Father's kingdom. Let's go to Acts chapter 18. Acts chapter 18, and we're going to start that at verse 24.
Verse 24. And a certain Yehudi named Apollos, born at Alexandria, an eloquent man and mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesus.
Now, a certain Yehudi named Apollos, born at Alexandria, he's eloquent and mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesus. All right? So, he has a good reputation about doing things in the word and teaching this word. Go ahead.
This man was instructed in the way of the Adonai, and being fervent in the spirit, he spake and taught diligently the things of the Adonai, knowing only the baptism of Yohanan.
Now, his knowledge is limited though. He only knows the situation of Yohanan. You know, Yohanan did baptisms first. After that, then Yahshua was baptized. Then the baptisms changed from Yohanan's baptism to Yahshua's baptism. So, although he is an eloquent man and mighty in the scriptures, he is lacking in this baptism department. Go ahead.
And he began to speak boldly in the synagogue, whom when Aquila and Priscilla had heard, they took him unto them and expounded unto him the way of Elohim more perfectly.
Now, he's speaking boldly in the synagogue, but something he's saying ain't right. So what they do is pull him to the side and expound upon what he's teaching more perfectly. See, this is what happens when you pull somebody to the back room. You explain some things. The next move is on them. Go ahead.
And when he was disposed to pass into Achaia, the brethren wrote, exhorting the disciples to receive him, who, when he was come, helped them much which had believed through grace. For he mightily convinced the Yehudis, and that publicly, showing by the scriptures that Yahshua was the anointed one. And it came to pass that while Apollos was at Corinth, Saul, having passed through the upper coast, came to Ephesus, and finding certain disciples, he said unto them, have you received the Holy Spirit since you believed?
Now, listen to how powerful this is. See, a lot of times you hear people talking about, that they're dealing with the Spirit, and everybody, because we got some understanding in the Word, we think we dealing with the Spirit. But listen to what it said right here. Have you received the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit? Listen to the question that's asked. Go ahead.
And they said unto him, we have not so much as heard whether there be any Holy Spirit.
So now they have not heard of the Holy Spirit. Now listen to what comes next. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, unto what then were you baptized?
Stop. That show you the power of the baptism. But you got people swearing that they dealing with the Spirit. They ain't even been spiritually born. You got whole congregations that ain't been born. Look at the power of what this baptism does. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, unto what then were you baptized? And they said, unto Johannes' baptism. Then said Saul, Johannes verily baptized with the baptism of repentance, saying unto the people that they should believe on him which should come after him, that is, on the Mashiach Yahshua. When they heard this, they were baptized in the name of the Adonai Yahshua.
Now, what if they said, you know what? I ain't trying to hear you. Then they stuck at only the remission of sins, but have no opportunity to have the Spirit. They could have been, understand now, you're talking about somebody who, in the beginning of this, you're talking about a brother who was eloquent and mighty in the scriptures. What he said, man, you don't know what you're talking about. That's just how you see that. I know what I'm doing. You know how long I've been dealing with this word? What if arrogancy and all of that kicks in at this point? I don't want to hear you. But they received instruction. Even though you got some mighty individuals here who know a lot of things, but they don't know this thing. Go ahead.
You know, when you look at the whole situation of where Apollos started out, so they came to him, expound to him of this new baptism. Mm-hmm. And then he happens to be in Corinth and see Saul dealing with the same situation with some other disciples and witness what comes after it.
Now, what if he didn't want to deal with that? What if he didn't want to accept that because he said, I've been in the word. I ain't trying to hear y'all. Go ahead.
And when Saul had laid his hands upon them, the Holy Spirit came on them, and they spake with tongues and prophesied.
Right. They didn't speak a whole bunch of goo gobbledygook now. Don't let them folks tell you that he laid hands on them and then they went what? What the hell that mean? But you see two things. They got baptized, then he laid hands on them. But you got people that believe they can bypass all of these things and still think the Spirit is with them on everything they do. Go ahead.
And all the men were about 12. And he went into the synagogue and spake boldly for the space of 3 months, disputing and persuading the things concerning the kingdom of Elohim. But when divers were hardened and believed not, but spake evil of that way before the multitude, he departed from them and separated the disciples, disputing daily in the school of one Tyrannus. And this continued by the space of 2 years, so that all they which dwelt in Asia heard the word of the Adonai Yahshua, both Yehudis and Greeks. And Elohim wrought special miracles by the hands of Saul, so that from his body were brought onto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them.
Right. And if you go and look up those things on Jimmy Swaggart and all of them, this is where they got their miracle prayer cloth. That's why you be watching BET at night, and then you see Kearney and his plus in a prayer package. Or you see that crazy demon looking dude, Peter Popoff, selling his miracle spring water. Understand where they get this from. See, they want to be like Saul. Go ahead.
Now, certain of the vagabond Yehudis,
Vagabond, understand, everybody ain't the same. And everybody don't get to claim the same power. Oh, we all holy. We don't see what happened with that in the Old Testament. Now you finna see what we all holy do in the New Testament. Go ahead.
exorcists took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Adonai Yahshua, saying, we adjure you by Yahshua, whom Saul preaches.
We adjure you by Yahshua, whom Paul preached. Oh, you don't preach it? No, I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night. So, you don't preach Yahshua. It ain't your job. But you gonna cast out demons in the name of Yahshua. But this ain't what you do. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Go ahead.
And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Yehudim, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahshua I know, and Saul I know, but who are you?
Right. You ain't even been spiritually born. Who are you? What authority do you have to cast us out? Speak to me about your authority. What job do you do? And even if you have been baptized, are you in a covenant with Yahweh to preach his word? How exactly are you going to cast us out? Go ahead.
And the man in whom the evil spirit was leapt on them.
All right, remember I said Yahweh is poetic about his punishment and how he do things. So they decide they're going to step out of the way and jump into what Saul do. Now they're going to cast out the evil spirit. But the evil spirit come out. The problem is he come on them. See, be careful who business you jump in, because you end up getting exactly how you jumped into it. Go ahead.
And overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded.
Right. Why? Them that sin rebuke before all, so that the other people will learn not to blaspheme. See, you can't tell people that something happened after you done snatched off all your clothes and you done ran down the road naked as a jaybird. Everybody knows something happened to you. Everybody know. But they gonna learn. I ain't gonna do that. I might do something and I might fall, but I'm not doing that right there. Go ahead.
And this was known to all the Yehudis and Greeks, also dwelling at Ephesus.
This was known to all. So they can't say, well, you know, Yahshua, I didn't know that was a blasphemous act when I committed it. Yes, you do. I made sure all y'all knew it. No, you did what you wanted to do. Go ahead.
And fear fell on them all.
And fear only comes on those who fear the power of Yahweh. Fear doesn't come on the arrogant. Fear don't come on those that think that they can get directly to Yahweh without any other means, that they can bypass all other things. Fear don't come on them. Fear come on those who love Yahweh, because they respect him and say, oh, no. I'm not going to cross my Elohim like that. I do this. This is equal unto crossing my Elohim. I ain't doing that. The wicked don't have no fear. They don't care what they say or what they do, who they lie to, who they steal from, who they deceive. It don't mean nothing to them. And as it is written, they not only do those things, but have pleasure in them that do them. That means they hang out with them. They friends. They speak up for them. That's the problem. Go Go ahead.
And the name of the Adonai Yahshua was magnified. And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Many of them also which used curious arts brought their books together and burnt them before all men. And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. So mightily grew the word of Elohim and prevailed.
All right, let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11. We got one more after this one. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. But the vagabond Jews felt like they should have the same right as Saul. You see the arrogancy of folk. Now this is Israel now. Understand? We all holy. Yeah, but we all ain't taking no loss. We all not putting ourselves in harm's way. Now we can sit back and do nothing and talk that peace talk all day. Cause you ain't never in the fight. You can talk that peace talk all day, long as you don't get into nothing. But if you decide to be a servant of Elohim and start doing some work, you're going to realize you can't walk around talking peace while Jake trying to kill you. Yahshua wasn't walking around talking about peace all the time. Why? Because they were trying to kill him. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, let's start that at verse 1.
Would to Elohim you could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. For I'm jealous over you with godly jealousy. For I've espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to the Mashiach. But I fear, least by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahshua.
Right. Just as the serpent beguiled Eve, it deceived her. The man wasn't deceived. He made a decision to go along with his wife. He was not deceived. She was deceived. Go ahead.
For if he that comes preaches another Yahshua, whom we have not preached, or if you receive another spirit, which you have not received, or another gospel, there's a problem. Go ahead. Which you have not accepted, you might well bear with me. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. Have I committed an offense in abasing myself that you might be exalted, because I have preached to you the gospel of Elohim freely? You know, as funny as our people are, you give them the word freely, they believe that the word has no value. But then go to people who sell it, and then they'll give them people the utmost respect. Klepto Dollar put something out. It take 5 DVDs at $39.99 a piece. We'll go buy every last one of them DVDs. Now you done bought a whole series worth of lies. And you can go on the internet for free and listen to this. But some people think because it's offered freely that it must not have value. Therein lies the introduction to get yourself killed. Go ahead. Verse 8. I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service. And when I was present with you and wanted, I was chargeable to no man. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied. And in all things I have kept myself from being burdensome unto you, and so will I keep myself. As the truth of the Yahshua is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the regions of Achaia. Wherefore? Because I love you not? Elohim knows. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion. That wherein they glory, they may be found even as we. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Yahshua. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Right. So if you're expecting the adversary to come beating at your door, foaming at the mouth, yelling like a madman, you don't really understand Satan. See, he come speaking soft and smooth. Go ahead.
Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. I say again, let no man think me a fool. If otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little. That which I speak it not after the Adonai, but as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. For you suffer fools gladly, seeing you yourselves are wise. For you suffer if a man bring you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face. I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak. Howbeit, whereinsoever any is bold, I speak foolishly. I am bold also. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
Right. So, are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Hebrew Israelites. Are they the seed of Abraham? People ask you,
what is a Hebrew Israelite?
well, ain't no Christian without one. But see, now he goes on another level. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Go ahead.
Are they ministers of Yahshua? I speak as a fool. I am more, and labors more abundant, and stripes above measure, and prisons more frequent, and deaths oft.
See, this the thing that servants can talk about. See, you can speak that peace talk as soon as the turmoil start that need to be dealt with in the word, and you just get up and leave. You can constantly talk peace because you ain't never in the midst. But when you working, you gonna have to deal with some of this. And if you ain't gonna deal with this, how can you call yourself a servant? What are you serving in? Go ahead.
Of the Yehudis, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. 3 times was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. 3 times I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep.
Right. But this comes from a worker. See? This is not a seat dweller talking about how much peace is around. This is a worker. Go ahead.
In journeyings often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils by mine own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren.
Right. And you still got to deal with false brethren after all that. Go ahead.
In weariness and painfulness, in watchings often.
Now look at what he boasting. He's not boasting and talking about how much peace he got. He boasting and talking about how much hell he done went through for the name of Yahshua. So when you hear that peace talk, understand.
Oh, okay. You don't work.
Learn how to read in between the lines. Oh, you don't work. Because everybody I done heard in this book that was servants of Yahweh went through something. Oh, I can listen to that talk. No. Oh, yeah, you don't do nothing. When the turmoil start, you just slide out the back door. So we all went to school with them people who always starting to fight, but ain't never in one. They start to fight for you, look, everything turmoil everywhere. You look, and you see him walking across that window. Hey man, didn't he start this fight? How is he halfway home? We go to school the next day, every last one of us got bumps and bruises. His face looked just as smooth as butter. Why? He got the hell out the way. He can go and talk that peace talk. Why? Because he got the hell on. Go ahead.
In hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. Beside those things that are without, that which comes upon me daily, the care of all the churches. Who is weak, and I am not weak? Who is offended, and I burn not? If I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern mine infirmities.
This is what I'm going to glory about. If I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern mine infirmities, the things that I have gone through in the word. I ain't going to sit here and sell you some fake thing of peace. Go ahead.
The Elohim and Father of our Adonai Yahshua the Mashiach, which is blessed forevermore, knows that I lie not. In Damascus, the governor under Aretas, the king, kept the city of the Damascenes with a garrison, desirous to apprehend me.
Right. What?
And
They trying to hang and cut my head off. But then those who just floating about talking about peace. At any moment, he could meet his death. Go ahead.
and through a window in a basket was I let down by the wall.
Check this out.
And escaped his hands.
Check that out. You let down out of a window, down a wall. But then you got the non-workers talking about peace. But you see how Yahweh did with that? He let them demons jump right up on them. You don't have no authority. Authority you gotta earn. And you gotta know where you stand. You don't want to jump up trying to cast out no demon you ain't done no work. Or you just got baptized 2 days ago. You know what? You know what? You know what? Finna cast these demons out. Where they gonna go when you cast them out? What if they all come to your house? Well, you cast us out, right? So I figured you wanted us to come home with you. This one gonna go into your son, this one gonna go into your daughter, this one gonna go into your wife. Wait a minute! Right. Let us hit a conclusion of this matter. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. I think that's 1. Something ain't right about that right there. Let's see. Okay.
Goes along with what you got there.
It's because I was still in 2 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, and let's start at verse 10.
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Adonai Yahshua the Mashiach, that you all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you.
Right. So if we all are not speaking the same thing, then there's another doctrine being taught. There's another doctrine being put forth. We are commanded that it be not so. So after you deal with it lightly and it doesn't get dealt with, then you have to deal with it on Front Street. It don't get dealt with after that, it's got to get cast out. Go ahead.
But that you be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
Right. You can't offer the same judgment because you're not in the same mind. Especially when you think that this is just somebody else's perception of something and not understanding that that goes according to the law. How are we going to be in the same judgment if you can't see the same scripture and have the same understanding? How are we going to have the same judgment? How? Now you think something's wrong with the judgment. Why? Because you don't understand a portion of Yahweh's law, or you don't like a portion of Yahweh's law, whichever one it is. But we can't be in the same mindset. That's a problem. That is a problem. Nothing should allow your mindset to change about Yahweh's word. I don't care who it come from. Go ahead.
For it has been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chloe, that there are contentions among you. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Saul, and I am of Apollos, and I am of Cephas, and I of the Mashiach. Is the Mashiach divided?
Right. Why we got these divisions? See, this is those parts about these little cliques that my elder used to always fight against. These little cliques. You only got certain people that you want to do this. You only got certain people that you want to do that. Them cliques gonna cause some problems. Is the Mashiach divided? Do Saul have his own apostles? If we speak the same doctrine, we don't have a division amongst us. But if we let another doctrine come up in here that is not backed by what's written in this book, then now we allow the division to come in Yahweh's house, and he gonna deal with us accordingly. What, you think you gotta be one of the brothers to stand up front when you hear something that ain't right, and you just gonna sit there and let it be said? What happened to all them people that heard it? Go ahead.
Was Saul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Saul? I thank Elohim that I baptized none of you, but Crispus and Gaius.
Now you know a brother got to be ticked off when he said, I'm glad I ain't baptized none of y'all. Go ahead.
At least then he should say that I had baptized in mine own name. And I baptized also the household of Stephanus. Besides, I know not whether I baptize any other.
Now, just like you were saying before, and I think you said that in our baptism conference. Do you know how creepy it would have been if Yahshua did baptisms in the name of Yahshua? Just think about how creepy that is if he baptized in his own name. And believe it or not, I've heard some strange things that there are some people who did some baptism, and word has it that it was done in their own name. Amen. And there was some people standing near, and they had been in the word decades, and they stood by and said nothing. Oh, y'all, we're gonna deal with that. You had peace at another brother's expense. You stood by and let somebody baptize in their own name, and you claim how long you've been in the word, and you said nothing. Oh, you gonna answer for that? Go ahead.
For the Mashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of the Mashiach should be made of none effect. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of Elohim. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribes? Where is the disputer of this world? Has not Elohim made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that in the wisdom of Elohim, the world by wisdom knew not Elohim. It pleased Elohim by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. For the Yehudis require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach the Mashiach crucified, unto the Yehudis a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called, both Yehudim and Greeks, Yahshua the power of Elohim, and the wisdom of Elohim. Because the foolishness of Elohim is wiser than men, and the weakness of Elohim is stronger than men. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
Why? Because you can't teach them nothing. They think they already know something. So when you get ready to teach them, and they don't understand that these things are coming from the spirit, not from your natural education level, now they can't hear you because they think they so smart. And then we allow them people to magnify themselves over us. Well, you know, they are naturally smarter, so maybe that word that they saying is right. Now you done bowed down to the wrong thing. Now you done mix natural things with spiritual things. I don't care where you went to school at. It ain't got nothing to do with this book. And if you went to seminary school, I can tell you you're even dumber than the man who came in yesterday. Because I know what they teach. Go ahead.
But Elohim has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, And Elohim hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Right, because they are going to allow themselves to be taught. The arrogant can't be taught. The arrogant can't listen. The arrogant can't be warned. You can't warn the arrogant. Hey man, it's a pit bull loose down the street. Oh man, I ain't worried about that. Until now they listen. I told you before you went down that hill. You walk down there, but you limping back, Cletus. But I told you before you went down there. But you can't tell the arrogant nothing. Go ahead.
And base things of the world, and things which are despised, has Elohim chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. But of him are you in the Mashiach Yahshua, who of Elohim is made unto us wisdom, and righteousness, and sanctification, and redemption. That, according as it is written, he that glories, let him glory in the Adonai.
All right. As it is written, I say unto you that you all speak the same thing. As long as what we're speaking comes out of this book, we're going to automatically speak the same thing. You ain't got to use the same words I use. It's just got to have the same context when you speak the word. If you start talking about something else that ain't in this word, you have entertained a different spirit. And we're going to run that spirit out of here. Not we're going to run the person out. If the person and the spirit decide that they're not going to separate, then the person got to go too. But that spirit got to go. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.